Good morning, guys. I hope we're all sparkly. I think it's safe to say when you've got low testosterone, you finally realize you are not invincible. I'll always remember coming out of clubs at 8 o'clock, laughing at those runners on a Sunday morning. Losers. We were off to an after hours party. Yeah. Short-term gains, long-term losses. Disappointingly, life is not about simply hedonistic pursuits. You've got to be more considered about your approach to your life. You need to be productive. You need to make sure that what you do will leave a long-lasting effect, not a short-term gratification that ultimately causes harm. Because as I've said before, numerous times, earn your reward. So when you're young, you engage in unhealthy behaviors. You don't live a life according to your physiology, which is fundamentally hunter-gatherer. Wake up, go hunt, get some food, have a bit of nookie, go to sleep. Your body does not care whether it's the working week, the weekend, whether you're stressed. It wants you to do the same thing. Don't focus on emotions, focus on physiology, then psychology, then emotions. Because you can't trust your emotions, because we are so far removed from nature. Our physical health and subsequent psychological health is being damaged. And we have unprecedented levels of depression, anxiety, all sorts of issues going on, because our highest state of consciousness that should be a blast, and we have a blast because we think, well, I no longer need to survive, I can party on. It ultimately has a negative outcome, and you're sat here listening to some guy rant on in his Land Rover about low testosterone, looking for some guidance, looking for realistic expectations that you will be given, not false promises. Again, if something sounds too good to be true, surprise, surprise, it's too good to be true. It's like when we talk about excess. Excess is excessive. So with high testosterone, high hematocrit, thick blood, we don't want that. It's all about balance, understanding the need for contrast to establish harmony. So, these naughty pursuits that you engaged in, did they affect me? Of course they affected you. Oh, I thought I got away with it. No other animal in this kingdom deliberately distorts its physiology for short-term gratification, apart from male dolphins who get high banging pufferfish who release an endotoxin, and they get like an opiate response. So those naughty dolphins also engage in bad behaviors. What is it? As the species gets brighter, it gets naughtier and potentially less healthy. But I'm sure dolphins are not going to be facing the same challenges that we face, because we are oversaturated and overstimulated by utter nonsense, with the fundamentals being lifestyle, diet and exercise, having a roof over your head, having your health. So health before wealth. Health, community, wealth. That's the list. That's the priority that we should be looking to. The Dalai Lama, what's the most peculiar thing about mankind? He sacrifices his health to gain wealth, and then he spends his wealth to regain his health. So, live a life worth living, not full of hedonistic pursuits. God damn you. Okay, a few hedonistic pursuits, but what you don't want to do is cause long-term harm. So when we think about testosterone replacement therapy, it's going to cure you. It's going to undo the last 20, 30 years. No, it's not. What's it going to do? It's going to correct the testosterone deficiency that you presented with. Is it going to reverse all of your negative symptoms? Low mood, low libido, brain fog, the list goes on. Well, hopefully, if the only part is hormonal, which it isn't. So with healthy hormone levels, can you still feel tired? Well, of course you can. If you get a bad night's sleep, if you're not eating right, if you're stressed, of course you're going to feel tired. Libido. Is your libido going to be resurgent to 16-year-old Randy Goat Boy? Would it be nice? Yeah. Libido is complicated. It's not just to do with testosterone levels. Stress is probably the biggest thing that negatively impacts libido. So I always ask my guys, what you like at the weekend, what you like on holiday. Because if your libido is high on holiday, it's your life, isn't it? So you have to put into practices that will help you relax in the day. So we talk about these contrasting processes, and we're oversaturated, overstimulated. So our sympathetic drive and cortisol is firing hard, constantly dealing with all the nonsense. And you've got low testosterone. So you have a subsequent level of irritability. So you're on TRT, and TRT raises your testosterone. And this seesaw effect, you've got sympathetic, catabolic, anabolic, parasympathetic. So you've got to realize that we can normalize your testosterone levels, but you've got to work on your parasympathetic nervous system, cold therapy, mindfulness, breath work, etc., etc. And how often do you have to work on it? We have to work on it every day, because you are exposed to stresses every day. Life is about movement. Life is about work, progress, becoming a healthy individual so that you can become a role model, example to your children, to others. Lead by example. Think about this. If you were the director of your own movie in real time, and you had the ability to be objective, not subjective, because your experience is subjective. But if you reflect and you look down at yourself, and when you're making these bad decisions, would you tell the lead character to go ahead and make that same bad decision? Or would you say, no, let's do something different. Let's do something positive. So we talk about engaging in positive behaviors. That's part of the solution. With so many distractions, what you also have to do is not engage in negative ones. So every time you pass that cookie, I'm thinking of somebody here, put the cookie down. Pass the cookie, you want it, but you decided not to have it. Give yourself a little pat on the back for not having the cookie. It's a little dopamine reward. Eventually, after you've walked past that cookie 100 times, throw the cookie away. You've won. You've beaten the demons, because we're always subjected to negative choices. Much like alcohol. When you say you're not drinking, and you go see your mates, and your mates go, oh, just have one. Cheeky half. That's something else, isn't it? Just have one. Everybody's trying to persuade you to do something that you don't want to do. How peculiar is that? To make themselves feel better about them having a drink, for engaging in bad behaviors. So rather than saying, I'm not drinking at the moment, say, I don't drink. Be more definitive about your choices and your actions, because then that will have a cascade effect on other aspects of your life. It's all quite simple. Be the hero of your own story. Testosterone will give you the foundation. You've still got to use this and an awareness of the autonomic nervous system to cope with the stresses and strains of today and be the person you want to be and lead a life worth living. Go earn your reward.